feeling through here, there's all sorts of, there's water ribbon, there's logs. Another small Glenelg Freshwater Mussel. It's healthy and happy, so it's closed up. There's just a little bit of its foot sticking out. I'm working on the Glenelg Freshwater Mussel project, or Gunditjmirring Glenelgensis. I'm working closely with Arthur Rylah Institute with DECA and Victorian Fisheries Authority to do work to ensure populations of the Glenelg freshwater mussel continue to thrive into the future. The mussel's critically endangered. It's only found from 3 or 4 small systems, tributaries of the Glenelg River. It's incredibly rare. Actually trying to locate it, we use a technique called brailling. It's literally crawling on hands and knees through a waterway, feeling with your hands in through the sediment, trying to feel for that, the rounded texture of a mussel, and from there able to draw it out from there. It's a slow process, you need to be very patient. And just take your time and work through sort of all of the key areas. The mussel really likes stable, sandy sediments. It's just a slow process of working through that sand and seeing where you might find it. All of the waterways where it's found is essentially 20 kilometres from top to bottom of one another. So essentially they're treated as one population. Real worry is if we have a bad bushfire event or something similar, that we could actually see the entire population wiped out or reduced to next to nothing. After a fire, we can have instances where you get ash plumes basically washed into a waterway or whatnot and will smother everything, having really serious detrimental effects on the fauna in a waterway, especially mussels that obviously don't have the capacity to move a long way. Arguably, they have capacity to outlast a little bit of it, but if it's prolonged, then they're in real strife. I've worked closely with ARI in terms of locating a small number of mussels that we've sent to Snobs Creek, which is a conservation hatchery. They're trying to close the life cycle there to breed up numbers so that we can bring them back down and re-release them back in the wild to sort of strengthen the small populations that are currently here. Hopefully that'll create an insurance process or more resilience for the species. So mussels are filter feeders. It means they essentially stick up an appendage and filter food out of the water, so they're heavily reliant on good water quality. The riparian area, if it's in good condition, it really benefits the mussels. They like permanent flowing fresh water. It requires certain substrates and habitat. So as part of this program, we're actually looking to fence around 2 kilometres of waterway, revegetate approximately 10 hectares of riparian zones as well. Also look to try and control some woody weeds in some of these areas. It's interesting in terms of, like a lot of freshwater mussels, it has a parasitic relationship with fish. So they spend a period of time as essentially a parasite growing on the gill of the fish. They'll get to a certain size and then they'll drop back into the sediment. So that's actually a method for dispersal or spreading for the mussel as well. As you can imagine, they don't move anywhere in a hurry. So hitching a ride with fish really helps to sort of spread the population and reduce the risk that if we have some sort of incident in one area, that whole population will be wiped out. There's other work that complements this quite well with some of the fish passage work. We talk about fish being important for the dispersal of the mussels. There's been work done on the Crawford River being one of the areas where the mussel is found, where culverts have been upgraded so that fish are able to pass through these culverts 90% of the time, whereas previous it was thought under about 15 or 20% of flow rates are able to come through. So it's a big improvement in terms of when and how sort of dispersal can take place of the mussels during breeding cycles and seasons.